So the next question is, when will the realization of the self be gained? When will I get to that stage? When will this happen? And Bhagavan says, when the world, which is what is seen, has been removed, there will be realization of the self, which is the seer. I'll read that again. When the world, which is what is seen, has been removed, there will be realization of the self, which is the seer. Absorb this. Let's absorb this. How profound this is, how loaded this is, and how succinct and simple it is, yet so simple and succinct. When the world, which is what is seen, he's not calling the world as real. He's saying the world as what is being seen. When that is removed, when I don't cognize the world as a reality, as something affecting me, I don't attach to it. Anything that happens to me, I'm not perturbed by it, is when I'm beginning to ignore the world. So when the world, which is what is seen, has been removed completely, there will be realization of the self, which is the seer. Remember a few weeks back, Peter, you were saying, but when I'm seeing something, I'm yet seeing it. It is prior to your seeing, think what sees. So that is the seer. Seer is not my eye, to try and elaborate on it. My eye doesn't see anything. My eye is just an instrument. What the eye perceives is what the mind defines. And the mind says, hey, it's a rose, or it's snow, or it is something I don't like. But the eye by itself has no capacity to make that determination. The mind has. But the seer before the mind is that conscious energy that has created you, who has given you the eye and the mind. And if you remove the mind, that's the only veil between the self and the human being. That's the only partition. A thick smoke screen is the mind. If I remove the mind, I can be with the self pretty shortly. So when the world, which is what is not seen, the world, which is what is seen by you, when that is removed, what do I see? I only see objects. I see father, mother, brother, sister, house, finance, success, projects, this, that, health, and all that is not me.
So may I make comment?
Sorry?
So then, yeah, that fits into what I was saying before. When the world, which is what is seen, is removed. So what is seen and what is to be removed is what is seen with the eye seer. And there is another seer behind the eye seer, which I do not know, right? You
know it, but you don't, you think you don't know. That's the way to think about it, that I think I don't know, but I'm not clear about it. That's why I think I don't know. Otherwise, I'm the same reality that's behind this mind, beyond this mind, prior to this mind.
I see. I think I don't know.
The question is the segue into that, actually, Peter. If you have the book in front of you, if you see, he asks the same question that you're asking. Will there not be realization of the self even while the world is there, taken as real? Question number 5. Will there not be realization of the self even while the world is there, taken as real? And he says there will not be.
Yes.
Because he's helping us by saying that you are clinging on to it. Let go of it, it'll happen. Let go of your world. Drop it, drop definitions, drop all attributes that you define yourself with. Practice, it'll be dropped. It'll begin to happen. Slowly and slowly, it'll begin to go away. And we just have to take a few steps, and everything else, then he begins to wash away from us while we continue to live as we are living right now. Will there not be realization of the self even while the world is there, taken as real? There will not be. I must go away from the world. That is sannyasa. Sannyas doesn't mean that we need to wear ochre robes and go away like Vivekananda used to say, or Ramana Maharshi said to many devotees one-on-one, why do you need to go anywhere? Number one. Or sometimes he would have said, oh, so now you're going to wear an ochre robe and call yourself sadhu so-and-so? So you're going to just change the name and some kind of a garment, that's all? Because he used to say the real sannyas is sannyas of the mind, removal of the mind. And as Sandra was saying, and Shweta and everybody has talked about Mona, we are so talking about the limitations of our lives and our attributes in the world and things like that, and my dichotomy every time I'm in and out, because we have been clinging to it from the time we first were told that you are so-and-so when we were a kid. And this has been happening for millennia. We have a long way to go, but if we begin to focus on it, as we are in this lifetime, it takes us forward leaps and bounds. Because then he begins to walk towards us, the reality, the self begins to walk towards us, and we begin to feel the presence of that self in our life. This is why will there not be realization of the self even while the world is there, taken as real? And Bhagavan says there will not be. And then Shri Prakasham Pillai asks why. And Bhagavan says the seer and the object seen are like the rope and the snake, just as the knowledge of the rope, which is the substratum, will not arise unless the false knowledge of the illusory serpent goes. So the realization of the self, which is the substratum, will not be gained unless the belief that the world is real is removed. We all have heard the story of the rope and the snake. It is my obfuscation, it's my cloudiness, my haziness, my nebulousness, my confusion that makes me see the rope as a snake. And the moment I come to know, oh, it's only a rope, it's not a snake, I come to that realization. Similarly, the moment I would come to know that, oh, I'm not the self, I'm not this, I am not this, I am the self, then this will be removed when I would have dropped my definitions, when my world would have been wrapped around without my being attached to it, which does not mean I have to leave the family or go away or remove things from me. No, they can still be where they are. I have to remove my attachment from it. What does that mean? It should not faze me. That's what detachment is, not being attached to my world, being able to take as it comes without reaction. Tall order, but we can get to it somewhat. And partially, if you try it, it does happen. Then when adverse things happen to me, adverse situations come and face me, I'm not that perturbed. I'm not devastated. I'm not depressed because I'm now with the cosmic reality. What did I do to earn it? Like when a person had lost a lot of money was perturbed and asked Bhagwan, why did I lose all this? I've been a good devotee, I've been on the right path and all that. And he kept lamenting about it and saying, why did I lose so much of money? Why? It was not black money, it was not this. He just... And Bhagwan finally asked him, where was the money before it came to you? And he says, I don't know. He says it went back from where it had come. So when adverse things happen to us, whether it be any adversity, we should just see it as an adversity being given to this body, because this body has a problem. I'm not the body. Doesn't matter to me. Easier said than done, I understand. When we are in the thick of a problem, it is difficult, but we can still get to it. We can still mitigate the effect, the ill effect of that adversarial situation facing me. I can dwarf that a little bit because I can say it was not under my control anyway. If we were to ask ourselves what we were talking about earlier, about constantly questioning ourselves, question yourself today, where has your success come from? Where has your money come from? Where have your possessions come from? Where have your failures come from? Where has your good health come from? Where has your ill health come from? Where has your reputation come from? Where has your opprobrium, your ill fame come from? Just think about it. And then say, I don't really have any control over it. I didn't create it. And then the definitions of deservedly or undeservedly begin to drop off. Nothing that has happened to me, which I think was undeservedly given unto me, it was given unto me without my deserving it.
Bandhuji, may I add something here again, please?
Please, go ahead, Mona. Sure.
There is a certain trust which comes in here where I am, instead of just giving up and saying it was not under my control, I feel that if there is trust that it'll be taken care of and I will be fine, and I trust the universe and I trust the creation around me to take care of me. So the trust, I feel, is something that works for me.
Thank you, Mona. That is crucial. Absolutely.
Yes, unless we have trust, or rather faith, I would say, in the ultimate reality, we can't be on Vichara Marg with considerable or appreciable success.
I think about the sense of looking at it philosophically, that I do not have ownership, and the situation, I have to accept a situation which is not under my control.
Right.
It's somewhat complicated by the fact that I seem to be able to make choices, right or wrong choices. So the fact that I can make this choice or I can make that choice, this choice is right, this choice is wrong, this choice is successful, that choice turns out unsuccessfully. This keeps giving me the feeling that I am in control when I am not.
Yes.
I don't really get the analogy about the rope and the snake. Of course, I know the analogy of the rope and the snake. When we see the snake, when we realize that it's not a snake, it's a rope. It's just a rope. But in everyday life, when the world which is seen to be not real, as long as it's seen to be real, it must be removed. I forget the whole quote, which is when the world which is what is seen is removed.
Yes.
So, okay, but when the snake is removed, there's the rope. But there is still a rope. But in my everyday life, when what I've seen is removed, what is there? It's like I am
rope
dead.
that you thought was the snake. It's the body that you think is you. If you remove that Peter is not this body, then you meet with the ultimate reality, which in this case will become the snake. But we are not talking about that. So you remove the camouflage, you remove the confusion, you remove the dust from the mirror, and then you see the clear image. That's all it is all about. It's just an example from the Vedantic way of explaining it. It's just like saying
Peter is not the body. Peter
Sorry?
is
Sorry?
the body is not Peter.
Right.
And then also the objects which I see all around me. What are they?
They're also not you or yours. It's a false identification of Peter as the body, and the body is not Peter. Even Peter is not the self, because Peter is just the name given to this body. If you remove that confusion, you are the self. And therefore, when you remove all the second and third identity related to Peter, because you could not have existed without there was a relationship, without your having a connection. Everything that we have as an object, defined as an object, is a connection to something else. There is no other entity that we ever live with. So I am Bandhu, son of so and so, or son of such and such mother, or such and such father, brother of so and so, sister of so and so, a student of this teacher, a student of that high school. My alma mater was that. My job is this. My money is in this bank. I have a fixed deposit. I have a portfolio. I have a wife. I have a child. I have a son-in-law. I have a daughter-in-law. I have a grandchild. I have my boss. I have this. I have that. I live in this country. I have this religion. I have so many religious friends. I'm a spiritualist. I'm a Vichara Margi. I have so many people in Ramana Satsang group. All these definitions are relative.
Yeah, I see. So the problem is for me then that to deal with all of these things in my life, I have to be Peter. Even though in my meditation I can come to
the only way we can stop this thinking, Peter, is to ask yourself, where is this thought coming from? You keep going back to the same thing. I'm now Peter. See, we just talked about that Peter also is not the body, but you come back to it. What is it? The nature of the mind propelling you back into that loop.
Yeah, but it seems that for me to relate and interact with these people or things in my life, I have to come back to this illusory self, because they interrelate with me as
someday it'll be dropped.
illusion.
Yes, yeah, you're right, but you can begin to drop it, which you have already begun. You don't know. Yes, Sandra, go ahead.
Bandhu, Peter, Bandhu and I once had this conversation, and it's our attachment to Peter. It's simply our attachment to the world that has to be looked at.
Correct.
It's the attachment to the people in our lives. So if we detach to the world, we detach that this is Peter. You might be able to meditate on that a little, because that word was, I really connected to that word, attachment. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we can conclude with this. It was a good input and good discussion on it. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Vanaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu Mavid Vishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hridaya Kuharmathe Kevalam Brahmamatram Ayahamaham Sakshat Atmarupena Bhate Hridivishamanasatsvam Chinvata Majjata va Pavana Chalana Rodha Atmanishto Bhavatvam Pavana Chalana Rodha Atmanishto Bhavatvam. Let's pray we all get to that stage of Atmanishta in some life, someday, somewhere. Thank you all for being here.
Ranachala.
Arunachala.
Okay.
Okay, everybody.